All right, welcome in, welcome back. Good morning. This is the Bears Film Room podcast. My name is Dave, joined by Ficky. We cover the Bears for SM. Excited to talk Bears this morning. Saturday morning, both have our coffee. Super Bowl weekend, of course. It is a little sad. The Bears are not obviously playing in this game, and it's also the last game of the NFL season. And I don't know how about you feel, Fick, and we'll talk a little bit about the Super Bowl. I know Bears podcast, but come on now. It's a Super Bowl. Everyone talks about it, but I think this is one of the more, I don't know. It just doesn't feel as hyped, Vic. Like, do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I'm in that same boat. I think it's because the Patriots obviously are in it, and people are kind of tired of the Patriots being in it. Even though this is a different Patriots team, obviously led by kind of a similar situation. Great defense, led by a MVP caliber quarterback, which is crazy to think about. But I think people kind of get tired of seeing the same thing. That's why people were excited that Kansas City wasn't in this year. So I think that's why it's not giving that same, I don't know, aura or vibe of excitement that maybe we've seen in previous matchups. So it's really, and honestly, if you look at the past 10 years, because Seattle won a Super Bowl 11 years ago. So these are two teams that have been within the Super Bowl or played for a Super Bowl within the past decade. So these are not any new names, exciting, like, oh, first time Super Bowl appearance, or, they're bringing home their first Super Bowl Lombardi trophy to, their franchise. That's not what we're seeing here. So I think that's what's also adding to it, is that it's kind of a repeat of what we kind of saw from 2013 to 2016.
Yeah. Kind of recycled, but obviously different teams. Sam Darnold, Drake May, two of the more unlikely quarterbacks heading into this one. Interesting stuff. We'll kind of save our predictions. We'll get to that at the end of the show before we get out of here. I want to start with there's quite a bit of news. I didn't know exactly where to start, but I felt like Ben Johnson and the Coach of the Year voting, Fick, was one of the more
interesting, I'd say.
Yeah, interesting, more discussed topics. And so we'll just start there. So on this was February 5th. So this happened on Thursday night, were the NFL Honor Awards. And so they gave out quite a bit. Obviously, Offensive Player of the Year. They gave out the Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year voting, MVP. And then, of course, the first ever NFL Protector of the Year award, which is yours truly, Joe Tuni. Pretty cool stuff there. So we'll get to that too. But Coach of the Year was very, very interesting. The voting kind of fell out like this. Mike Vrabel had 19 total votes. Cohen ended up with 16 total votes. So pretty close race right there. Mike McDonald, which is the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl, got 8. Kyle Shanahan got 6. Ben Johnson all the way at the bottom with 1 vote. I'm not sure how the hell that happened, Vic. I have a little, I want to give my 2 cents, but when you first saw this on Thursday night, how shocked were you? I know you were shocked, but 1 vote is almost, it makes you wonder what the hell is going on here.
It was interesting. Now let me preface with this. Every single candidate that was above him deserving, so right, everyone on that list deserving. What Liam Cohen did to Jacksonville, who had been pretty bad, and if you look at Trevor Lawrence's career, has not really lived up to the potential he had. He revitalized that city. So you got to give. I understand why he got so many votes. Mike Vrabel's playing in the Super Bowl. I mean, they were top 5 pick in the draft last year, so totally understand him winning it. Mike McDonald, also, he's a second-year head coach, so it's interesting. Typically, it's the first-year head coaches, because most times the Coach of the Year wins is someone who's taking, a first-time head coach in a situation where a team hasn't been good, and they flip the script, kind of like what Ben Johnson did, Liam Cohen did, and Mike Vrabel. But you got to give credit to Mike McDonald, because he has been fantastic. He was fantastic last year, and this year he's also, obviously he's about to play in the Super Bowl, has a chance to win a Super Bowl. So all of the names on that list are deserving. Obviously the most important part in this segment of this that is shocking is only 1 vote. The question is though, maybe if it wasn't 1, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. If it was 5 or 10, even if it was bottom last, it wouldn't matter. We talked about how we didn't want him to win anyways, because sometimes it's not a good statement about how long your trajectory will be. Nagy won it. Look at Kevin O'Connell. He won it. And then also the guy who just got fired from the Browns head coach, Stefanski, he won it twice, right? So look where he's at. He's on a new team.
Well,
so
and
there is no correlation.
Brian Dable win it?
He did, yes. I think he won it the year where they upset the first round of the playoffs back with the year before Daniel Jones got that contract extension because he played well the year before. But yeah, there is no correlation of coach of the year to long-time success. So I'm okay he didn't win it. It's just weird, though, that it was only one vote. Now, again, like I said, a lot of great candidates. So, you only get one first place vote. So maybe that's just how the cookie crumbled. But one is kind of wild because we were a top 11 pick last year. But again, this is good company to be in. So I'm not like too concerned about it. But, one is a little shocking.
Shout out to so the one vote that was he revealed himself on it was yesterday. Dan Pompey of The Athletic, I believe. Is he still at The Athletic?
Yeah, he is.
Awesome. Yeah. The Athletic, amazing writer. He's been doing this a long time. And he said, I could have voted for Mike McDonald. Is it McDonald or McDonald?
Mick. I think it's McDonald. I think it's
McDonald,
Mike
like the food, like the restaurant. Okay. The A's throwing me off.
I think it's Mick. Yeah, Mike McDonald.
Because it's MacDonald, but that that Mac, like a Big Mac, it's throwing me off. Anyways, Kyle Shanahan. I'll restart. I could have voted for Mike Vrabel, Mike McDonald, Kyle Shanahan, or a few others for Coach of the Year, but I voted for Ben Johnson, and I love it because the thing with Ben, and we know as a Bears fan, we know what he did. You talked about revitalizing a city in Jacksonville. I mean, the same thing could be said 100%. And more in Chicago because no offense to Jacksonville, it's not Chicago. It's not a national, it's not a charter franchise. And it's just been impressive to see what he did. But so to kind of recap, built one of the best offenses I think we've ever seen in Chicago. They were 5-12. It's very similar to when Matt Nagy took over, right? 5-12, won the NFC North, which I think is, you can argue, the best division in football, at least one of two.
For sure. Yeah.
It's a gauntlet. Beat the Packers twice. They did it in so many insane ways. And then he unlocked Caleb Williams, you could say. Now, Caleb, I think, played a big part in that.
For sure.
Cutting the sacks in half, if not more. The growth and the work that he put in, but it also Ben Johnson, you got to admit, like, he obviously played a huge role in his growth. And I think Caleb said the same thing. So overall, just amazing stuff from Caleb. And then he built a real culture and gave Chicago a team to believe again, or to believe in again. And that reminds me of 2018, where it's just like, we haven't had that in forever. And then he's a first-time head coach. Like, no offense to, I'm not trying to take anything away from Vrabel, but like, you've done this before.
That's true.
You've been in Tennessee for a long time. You had success there. You know the blueprint. Ben Johnson could have easily had a tough first year if he would have went, 8-10 or something like that. Missed the playoffs. You could have had so many excuses. Caleb's, first year in the offense, first year in Chicago where it's tough. So many other conditions. The division, like we talked about. Instead, in year one, he did all of these things, and I guess that gets you one vote, Vic. And I can't wrap my head around that.
Well, look, you take your team to the Super Bowl your first year as a head coach. It's locked in. You know what I mean?
When is the vote? But when does the vote take place? I guess that's what I know.
I get that. I don't know exactly when it cuts off.
Because if it was like season. If it went all the way up to like Super Bowl week, I understand. Okay, I get it. But if
they were the same as us, right? 2 in their conference. They were second in the AFC, and so were we. We were second.
They were behind Denver.
Yeah,
Denver was the 1 seed.
Yeah, I think you make a good point of this is not his first rodeo. So really, it should go to Lee. If you're going to pick, it would be between Liam Cohen and Ben Johnson. But again, I don't really care about, I know you don't either because you've talked about it. The Coach of the Year award is great for people to kind of know who you are, but it doesn't really do anything. There's no correlation to long-term success. Look at this. Go back to 2018. Matt Nagy won it. Guess who won GM of the year that year? Ryan Pace. How did that work out? So it's a nice appreciation award for a short segment of time in your tenure, but that's it. And what we've noticed in the NFL is there's peaks and valleys, right? All the time.
Right.
And so just because you got this award this year doesn't mean that you will not suck the following year. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case with Vrabel and the Patriots, but I'm saying overall, I'm not over here like, oh, wow, because he got that, I feel like we're in a good place. Like if it was MVP, that's different. A lot of times when someone wins MVP, that kind of correlates that they have a long career of being at least pretty good. That is not the case with Coach of the Year award, so I don't care about that. Now, the Protector of the Year award would be different because that's that. Well, I know
it's the Joe Tuni award,
right? The Joe Tuni award. We're the only team that's ever won it. That I have more faith in. Like, oh yeah, that probably means that he'll be pretty good next year. You know what I mean? I think the player awards are more consistent because I think players' floors and ceilings kind of stay within more of a smaller margin than what we see with head coaches and GMs because they're dealing with 50 plus variables while players are dealing with way less. So it's easier to like have confidence in what they are and what they will be. But go ahead, Dave.
Yeah. Before I get to what I was going to say, shout out to Aaron from Australia listening, and he said happy Super Bowl weekend. Appreciate it, sir.
You gotta,
I don't know what time it is over by you.
No idea. It's gotta be
no idea. I know what the time
maybe?
difference is crazy because if we want to, my wife and I, our family, we want to go to Australia here in the next year or two, and the flight thick is like, I think it's like 20 hours.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
It's crazy. But we cannot wait to go to Australia.
They got a game week 1, Rams 49ers, Australia.
I seen that.
Year.
I was like, thank God. I mean, not for Aaron, but I was like, I don't want Chicago to really make that trip.
12:48. That's crazy. Awesome. We appreciate you watching on a late Saturday night or Sunday morning.
It's Sunday morning for him. Yeah. But shout out to Aaron, also to Scott and Bears Junkie 33 here this morning with us. So, and we got quite a few of you guys. So make sure to hit that like button, subscribe on the road to 14,000 subscribers. So, but yeah, Coach of the Year. Yeah, I thought something was off. I don't know when they vote on this. I think it's interesting that Ben Johnson, you could say he kind of pissed off like the McVay, LaFleur coach. And I don't think that has nothing to do with it. However, I think the optics on some of these guys that vote, right? Because it's writers, there's obviously different types of personalities, and you're supposed to take the emotion out and go through it objectively. But I guarantee you, and I don't know why, maybe we're as Bears fans, I don't see it, but I think maybe Ben Johnson and the way he kind of handled himself at certain times, I guess could have rubbed people the wrong way. But I don't think he did anything truly wrong. You could say LaFleur and that handshake was a little off, but at the same time, there was like two other situations where, I mean, LaFleur was kind of short with him. They kind of kept the status quo and the energy. You just don't, I guess you don't see coaches typically react that way. I'm referring to the playoff game where, you know, he comes in at an awkward angle and it's very quick and he's gone. But it's a playoff game. The energy, I had no problem with it. I still don't. So, but that's the only thing where I'm like, it makes you think, like, did that play a role? But one vote is crazy.
Well, look, it always plays a role. These are humans voting. So I'm not surprised that there's probably people putting a whole bunch of emotion into these picks. So I don't, again though, like Ben Johnson wasn't going to win either way.
Which one means more, the Pro Bowl selection or the Coach of the Year?
I want all pro because no,
I'm just saying between these two.
Between
Pro
these
Bowl,
two?
Yeah, sorry. Pro Bowl and Coach of the Year. Like which one means more?
I mean, I
think both of them have kind of been diluted a little bit.
Yeah, I don't really care much for either. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like
I'd say Pro Bowls is less. Because like you have guys that get a Pro Bowl nod because of, you know, people that decline, teams that are in the Super Bowl.
So they can fix that. Look, how the Pro Bowl should be worked out, and this would fix the problem, is that the original Pro Bowl roster that gets released, that should be the only thing that counts as a true historical Pro Bowl. So when you go look at Pro Football Reference and you look at whatever, were you the first selection? That makes sense. That is it. All the alternatives, like a Mitch Trubisky, a Tariq Cohen, all of those shouldn't
Sanders.
count. Yeah. Sanders, for sure. Right. And again, there's obviously levels to this, but those, when you look back in history, you were not a Pro Bowler. You were a Pro Bowl attendee. You showed up to watch, to participate, and that's fine. Nothing against you. Go out there and go do your thing. It's the Pro Bowl. Have fun. I have no problem with these guys getting brought in. But when we look at it, and you're looking at contracts, right, and how that inflates the contracts, when you look at historical evidence of like, should these guys get into the Hall of Fame, blah 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 blah. Did you make the first selection? Yes or no? If not, you're out. It's kind of like in the same way of like all pro, right? If you're all pro first or second team, that counts. There is no real all pro third team, but there's probably a group of guys that would fall into that. If you're that third team, you didn't get all pro.
All pro. Right. Yeah, all pro, like you said, there is no game. So it's just like at the end of the day, you're either an all pro and you've earned it or you didn't. And so, or you got snubbed. There's a couple that obviously deserve it that don't make it quite yet, like Roquan Smith a few years back when he was in Chicago. Yeah, he didn't get any all-pro nods until he got to Baltimore. First year, he was an all-pro. So
that's how that works.
Bears tax a little bit. It feels like sometimes. And so, but I think the Pro Bowl, it used to mean something like, oh, he's a Pro Bowl. Like I think it used to have at least some value and some weight to it. Now it is really like, I don't really care. Like you see, like, oh, he's a 3-time Pro Bowler.
You want to know a hot take?
It's not moving me really.
You want to hear a hot take? This goes to all sports. I don't really care about any of the all-star stuff. I don't. The game has been diluted for the competitions, and I don't blame why it's been diluted.
Yeah,
you can't risk an, like, especially guys who are looking. Imagine a Sean Wright. You're looking for a new contract. You just had the best season of your life. Could you imagine going out there playing like how the Pro Bowl games used to be and tearing your ACL? You lose out on possibly tens to $20 million. So I get why they pulled it away, and people just care less and less about it. So my hot take is just get rid of them. I know that won't ever happen because it still drives revenue and brings in money for these leagues, but it's really not important. Like if you want to do the games, whatever, that's cool. Like you can still do the 3-point contest, but even like the dunk contest in the NBA, we're running out of dunks, man, which is not anyone's fault. The players are just
physically, you can't do it anymore.
What do you shoot them out of a jetpack, like a cannon? I don't know. There's not much you can do. So my hot take is like, just get rid of it. That won't ever happen because it brings in so much money to the cities and to the sports, but whatever. All I care about is how good my team is and did the great players get the recognition for how great they were. That's it. So we don't really care so much about anything. I didn't even watch the Pro Bowl. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I watched some highlights. Yeah, I watched some highlights and it was turned into flag football. It's kind of When I saw the tush push being implemented at the end, I was like, "Are you serious?"
Well, think about it. He had like Mac Jones doing the gritty. What was that, 3 years ago when he was like a backup? Like it's just like the quality of it. It's gone down. But also football is a lot different because again, I don't want to see people out there banging heads when it's the offseason. Like I want my guys ready to go. I don't want them. I'm not risking that because at the end of the day, I'd rather win a Super Bowl than have my good players on my team look good in a Pro Bowl. So anyways, that's my soapbox rant on the Pro Bowl.
Absolutely. We'll end the coach of the year voting on that. We just kind of want to touch on it. It was obviously like kind of a lightning rod for just conversation. So there's our thoughts on it. We're going to go ahead and continue. Got a few more things we want to get to here on the Bears Film Room podcast. So before we do, we're going to take our first break. And again, before we do, hit that like and subscribe button here on YouTube. I know there's a lot of you guys that watch that aren't subscribed. I believe we have about 60%. So if you can go ahead and get those numbers up, we would appreciate it. Let's go ahead and take our first break.
First off, thank you for watching the BFR Podcast, the #1 show for the fans by the fans. If this is your first time here, please like and subscribe, as it just helps our show grow and helps the algorithm get this show out to other awesome, amazing Bear fans like y'all as we're trying to grow this community. If this is your first time, also leave a hashtag New Face Gang in the chat. That's hashtag New Face Gang in the chat, and we'll give you a shout out before the end of the show. And if this is not your first time, this is your second time, you watched over 100 episodes or anything in between, then you are a true OG, and we want to show you some love as well. So please leave a hashtag OG in the chat, and we'll make sure to give you a shout out before the end of the show. Thank y'all for all the support for the number one show for the fans, by the fans, the BFR Podcast. Now let's get back to the show. Absolutely.
Yes, the support's been unreal. What do you got, Fick? You got something?
No, I ain't got nothing.
Look, you had something you were going to say.
No, not this time. I'm sure I will. Give me 2 minutes. I'm sure I'll have something crazy to say, but not yet.
Okay. No, absolutely. And then we'll move on real quick. The other award, we touched on it, Joe Tuni, Protector of the Year, first ever award given, and a Chicago Bears player has won it. Quite impressive. Caleb Williams kind of said it best. What did he say? So right after the award was announced, Caleb went to Instagram. He said, "Y'all thought it was going to be someone else," and I think that's really just sums it up.
He gave up 0 sacks.
Yep, played over 1,000. Almost played over 1,100 snaps, 0 sacks, and then when you talk about what was next to him all year, kind of a little bit of dysfunction.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of separated him from others, because, he was kind of on not an island, but he didn't have a vet left tackle. He didn't have Darnell Wright over there. It was him elevating whoever it was at left tackle that week. And I thought he was, obviously wears the C for a reason. He was a leader. Obviously, wherever he goes, he wins. I think it's his 13th division title or what? 9th division title, I believe.
Well, he had a shit ton
with 3 different teams.
We had a shit ton with Tom Brady. He had a shit ton with Kansas City. Yeah. Now he has one with Caleb. So
hopefully he's going to get a ton with the Bears. And then at the end of the day, you got him for a 4th round pick. I think it's one of the best trades the Bears have made in recent memory. You can obviously talk about the Hall, or not the Hall, not the Hall. I guess. Is that what they were calling the Justin Fields? The trade for Caleb, that one. When they traded DJ.
I don't know.
I think they were calling it the Hall, but the Caleb one is unbelievable. That they pulled off, but
because that one, you got you Caleb, it got you Luther, it got you
DJ,
Darnell, DJ, someone else. It's a pretty good one.
Tyreek Stevenson.
Yeah, this is talking about just like a one trade where it didn't
it got you Kyle Monungai.
No, Monungai. No, it didn't get you Monungai, but it did get you Tyreek as well. You're right on that one. But that one is over a span of 3 years. That one's a little bit harder to compare. When you're looking at just one singular trade, you're telling me you got a future Hall of Famer who also still played like a Hall of Famer for just a 4th round pick? Come on.
Yeah.
Easily pulls his best trade.
Yeah. Oh, you think it is? You think Joe Tuni's the best trade?
For singular, just 1 year, 100%.
Oh, without looking at,
Yeah, because again, the Justin Fields Caleb trade, it's counting that was a 3-year thing because of how the trade turned into other trades as well. And so that's why it went on for so long. So that one's obviously, when you think of Ryan Poles, all said and done, you're going to think of the Justin Fields 1st round pick trade.
It's crazy that when you think about it, the Bears got the 1st round pick or the 1st overall pick in back-to-back years.
Yeah, crazy.
It's unreal.
After not having one for 60 years.
Yeah.
they didn't have one for the longest time. Then they got 2 back-to-back. So
shout out to Bears fans, though, living through 2 years of being the worst team in the NFL.
Well, luckily 1 year wasn't technically the worst. We were 9th, I think, that year. The 9th pick overall, because that was because that was shout to
Carolina.
Davis Mills. Yeah, Davis Mills and the Texans beating the Colts.
I forget we were 9th. Yeah,
because
that's when we got Darnell that same year, right?
Yeah, we traded back from 9. Jalen Carter. Eagles went to 9. We went back to 11 and picked up Darnell.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, all the years kind of blend together a little bit.
Oh, they do, especially when they're all bad. You know what I mean? It's top 10 for 3 or 4 years. You kind of forget where you're at.
The only time where we have so many good years, I'm like, which one? What year is that again?
Yeah.
Joe Tuni's acceptance speech too was really, really impressive. Of course, he was humble as always, but shouted out all the guys, of course, on the Bears O-line, and then everyone before him kind of laid the foundation, and he did as well. I mean, this award, I'm honestly shocked it's 2026. It took this long to get something like this for an offensive lineman.
I was about to say that. I hated how much the NFL does not value the trenches. They value, only position they value in the trenches is defensive end. It's the only thing. That's the wide receiver of the defense. It's exciting. They make big plays. You know all the best defensive ends or edges, however you want to call it, in the NFL. People can name them off, right? You always know who the sack leader is every year. You know, it's Myles Garrett this past year. Obviously, broke records. That's an easy one. But no one ever cares about your 3-tech, which would be your defensive tackles like a Javon Dexter. No one cares about your 0-tech, so like your Andrew Billings, your Grady Jarrett. And then on the offensive side of the ball, like some of your really great tackles you'll hear of, you know what I mean? But they have to be like really, really, really good. And then everybody else, you never hear a word. You never hear people talking about them because they don't make big splashy plays. Their big splashy plays is stopping other people from making big splashy plays. So like Darnold Wright's best, like if it was a highlight reel, it literally wouldn't be exciting. It'd just be him holding a guy in place, at least in pass protection. So because of that, like you don't get, fans don't really get involved, but if you really know football, that's where the game is won. And so I'm so happy that they're now creating a award. I know they probably should still do more, but this is at least a stepping stone where they're giving credit to these offensive linemen. Because if you look at all of the play, I think I was looking at this, when you looked at all the teams that made the playoffs, besides the Chargers, because they had like the worst offensive line because they lost Joe All in the he got injured. He was out for the season. And then Slater was injured before the season started. So they they lost both of their premier tackles starting off. But if you look at all the other playoff teams, every single one of them, when you're looking at their offensive line, basically advanced metrics, they were like top 12, top 15. And that's no coincidence. So it's funny that all the best teams, including ourselves, have really solid offensive lines. But when you go on media, Twitter, all this stuff, no one's ever talking about them. So they don't get credit for how impactful they are to the game. So again, a little rant there, but I'm just excited that they kind of gave credit. And another thing too, it's like this, right? Because we're talking about going to the offseason, Dave. Like a big need is that 0-tech, right? That nose tackle or defensive tackle. You've seen a lot of people talk about Kaden McDonald, from Ohio State, Caleb Banks, Florida, a bunch of options that go here. Peter Woods, Clemson coming to us. The impact of having a guy who can take on blocks and like stop the run game is huge, but you'll hear nobody ever talking about him. Like unless you're Aaron Donald, which is an anomaly, a lot of times the best nose tackles, especially nose tackles, they just eat blocks, right? They're not back there making tons of plays, but the impact of what they do is they free up all the other guys to then make plays. So that's me going on a ramble here. Sorry about that, but I like it when people who actually make a significant impact to team success give credit for that impact. So shout out to Joe Tuni. That's basically my point. So
yeah, it's well said, Vic. It's been a long time coming. I hope they I think one award is enough. You don't need to go and get like 3 or 4, but this is great. This is
sure.
Really recognized, and there's a lot of deserving candidates. It's going to be tough to see if Joe Tuni, because I think he has some high level of football, obviously left in Chicago, left in his career. So I wouldn't be shocked if he's, this time next year, hopefully he's not able to accept the award because we're playing in the Super Bowl, but
right.
I think there's a good possibility he's going to be a front runner for as long as he's playing, because he's a guy, where I think he's just until he won't have like a drop off. I think he's just going to go out and it's like Tom.
His floor is
right?
high. His floor is high. Like
he's like, once he's ready to hang it up, that's when I think that level of play, obviously, I just don't think we're going to see a huge diminish in his production value, consistency.
How old is he?
Maybe.
Is he 32? He's going to be 33 next year. Is that what it is?
So he is 33 years old.
Okay, so he'll be interesting. I wonder how long like Jason Kelsey went, because you're seeing in the NFL
he'll be like 4
starting next season.
Yeah, in November of this year. So about a month or 2 into the season.
O line's interesting because you start to see a lot of O linemen play longer and longer,
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's also because their position doesn't rely on some physical attributes that you typically see drop off, like speed, agility. You know what I mean? Like that stuff drops off for a lot of these, premier positions, wide receiver, running back, things like that. While offensive linemen, that's not the case. And I feel like it's way more technically sound. And so therefore they can last longer. But I say all of that to be like, I feel like we'll probably get a good, it might maybe not be as great as this year every year, but we're going to get a good Joe Tuni through this full contract that we have with him. I think he has 2 more years left. I wouldn't be surprised if he's still playing good ball at age 36.
Yeah. It's a long time away, 3 years. We'll see. But yeah, you're right, Vic. I think he has a few years left. And that's what you wanted. The Bears extended him. If you can get another year or two, it'd be this year alone was almost like, dang, it's definitely worth it, even if he goes and has a little bit of a drop off. So, but that was the other award.
It reminds me of, and I don't know if you can remember off the top of your head, not to put you on the spot, but during the Super Bowl run, or like during that era, Lovie Smith, we traded for a tackle. It was a right tackle, and he was older, like 32, maybe 31, and he had his best years of his career on the Bears. And I cannot remember his name. I'm trying to look it up, but it gives me something similar to that, where it's like you can easily get a good 2-3 year run of Joe Tuni's exceptional football, and that's all you need for someone in that age. So I think you're right on you saying this was such a fantastic trade. Like, a 4th rounder, if you go back and say, hey, a 4th rounder for this type of quality of play, absolutely. So that another good move. I mean, Ryan Poles past 2 years, like he still has his misses in free agency, like a Dio and things like that. No GM is perfect. Let's first get that out there. But I'd say overall, he's been better. Every year, I feel like he makes less and less moves that are questionable. Like, look, think of this year alone, right? You traded for Joe Tuni, you killed the draft, and you signed CJ Gardner-Johnson in the offseason. Like, not offseason, midseason.
Yeah.
Those 3, crazy, especially the draft.
Deshaun Wright pickup.
Deshaun Wright. Like,
especially given the injuries they had to deal with. You landed Ben Johnson.
Kevin Byard, that was last year, but look how he's played the past 2 years.
Yeah,
that's been good. TJ Edwards, he been injured.
Him. Yeah.
Now Dio is he still has his misses every year.
I don't know. Dio is interesting. He did not play like statistically well, but he was pretty good in the run. He I would have liked to have had. I thought throughout this run at the end of the year, when those final 4 or 5 games, I was like, man, it would have been nice to just have him as another body. Obviously, really, really physical, big dude that, Dennis Allen loves, as far as like, having that type of player. That's why they signed him. It would have been nice to have him there and see what his production, what he could have done. And I'm excited to have him back. Like, at the end of the day, the Bears are going to go defense this draft, and so they're going to be a lot better. But Dio, I think, is still going to be a part of the Bears' plans, you would think, as far as what next year and that rotation looks like. But I want to kind of bring up a couple other things. I want to pivot real quick to a really I was going to share this, if you're cool with it, Vic, this video of George McCaskey. He was asked on GN Sports TV. So shout out to Jarrett Payton. He had this one-on-one interview with the Bears chairman, George McCaskey, on this was Friday. So let me go ahead and share this, because I think this video it kind of speaks for itself. Let me just share it. So, but he was essentially asked, how did he feel when Ben Johnson said F the Packers? And so,
yeah, especially because how the McCaskies are about their curse words.
Yes.
So.
And again, shout out to Jarrett Payton and the team over there for this one. But I'm going to play
the show.
We talked before the season, and a couple of things that I shared with them are, if you look at 100 years of history, whether the Bears have a successful season has a lot to do with how we do against Team Voldemort. Not 2-15 or anything like that, but if you sweep, you get a pretty darn good chance of having a successful season. If you split, you still have a good chance. But how that series goes has a big impact on how the season goes. And the other thing I told him was, when you're with your players, you got to be authentic. They can spot a phony. You got to do what comes naturally. So yeah, we talked and we're on the same page.
I saw the video of you throwing the stiff arm to that fan. Hey, listen, I know my pops would be happy and proud. I thought probably the time that you got to Hallis Hall, they were probably about to give you shoulder pads and a helmet because you could actually go. Were you cognizant of video, or was that just a reaction?
It was just a reaction. I should not have done that. I should have just let him have his photobomb and waited for him to walk away and then take the picture that the Bears fans wanted.
No, I don't think so. I love the fact that you did that. It shows who you are. You were having fun, and the guy too. Everybody was laughing, but that's what this season was about, though. This season was about that moment. Like, step back. You guys think it's been your time. You've been, running the North. It's our time. We're here now. That's what it felt like to me.
That should be handled on the field. What do people say? I need to be better in those moments.
All right, that again. Check it out. I think the full video is going to be on. I think it's their YouTube page, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm pretty sure it
full
is.
Interview is on WGN TV, and I think they have a YouTube. So you can check it out, or it's on GN Sports on their Twitter and their social feed as well. But yeah, shout out to Jarrett Payton, friend of the show. Had him on a few times. Really, really awesome dude. Obviously royalty when it comes to Chicago Bears. But George McCaskey, I don't think there's been another owner that has had quite the turnaround as far as like his image and how he's perceived in Chicago. I mean, dude, I remember like 4 or 5 years ago, he was kind of like laughable, like, oh, we didn't get a private jet, we had players flying, not even first class. It was a weird optic that the Bears owner and then the ownership it did not look great. Now we get those report cards when it comes to, at the end of the year, or maybe it's mid off season where they hand out like the overall team grades, like locker room, cafeteria food, the training facilities, and then ownership's one of them. I think the Bears got an A last year. This guy, I love him. Vic, I absolutely love George McCaskey now, and it's such a cool turnaround. You don't see a lot of people, especially at his age, no offense, that are able to kind of do a 180. And the fan that Packers where he stiff arm him, one of my favorite moments. But also there was a part where the Bengals game, he's in the tunnel and he watches the final play where I think it was the Joe Flacco Hail Mary that got like maybe 20 yards down the field and it was intercepted. And then you see him celebrating in the tunnel and he's just like one of us. So I just love what George McCaskey and what he has done and what he truly loves the Chicago Bears, and you can feel it. It's authentic. And shout out to him giving Ben Johnson the green light just to be his authentic self. So
I think a couple of things go into that because I don't know the guy, but it seems like McCaskey has kind of been the same throughout the past decade. The difference is why people would get upset about George is George would go in the pressers and say, hey, I'm just a fan. You know what I mean? I'm not really that type of business guy, blah, blah, blah. And people would be like, yeah, we know that. But the people you have running the business don't know what they're doing either. He's always kind of been, I sit on the sideline. I trust the guys, what they're doing, but they haven't been good at getting the right people in the building. And because of that, they've been garbage. As we know, winning cures all. That can change people's images immediately. But I believe that how McCaskey was acting is kind of what he's been doing before. He just didn't have many opportunities for it to be public because, well, the team wasn't winning much. But I agree. It is, from an outside perspective, it is a 180. So I 100% agree with you on that. But I think the biggest reason why, and people obviously talk about 180 of image, don't like this other guy because the stadium talks have been, the stadium progress has not been where it needs to be. But Kevin Warren, sure, was hired for the stadium stuff. I promise you, and I guarantee that is not the only thing that is on his plate. He is the president, that the top guy, football operations of the Chicago Bears. So when you talk about those report cards and how everything looks better, 100% has Kevin Warren written on it. I remember this story. I think maybe Hogan Johns was talking about way back when Kevin Warren first got hired. And Hogan John's always talk about how the food at the pressers, right, is like, it's whatever. And you're like, man, for, Chicago, which has tons of great food options. Also, you being a NFL organization, you don't have good food quality options for your press box is kind of interesting. Kevin Warren came in immediately and was like, no, we're not doing this. Changed it immediately, went from basically bottom shelf to top shelf in a matter of weeks, right? And so I think it's those little things throughout. And it's just like any business. When you have a top leader, you have a good leader at the top, they're going to be like, no, this is not how we run things. And they change how the organization is run. So I think McCaskey actually hired someone who knows how to run the business, right? And he's able to sit back on the sideline and not have to, put his
Kevin Warren. You're right, Vic. I think he was brought in. The main thing is he was brought in to build a stadium, but it is difficult. You can't just drop it in Chicago. It's just not as simple as that. You can't just tear down Soldier Field, redo it. There's a lot of things that go into this, but I give him a hard time too, because sometimes it just gets a little frustrating, and it's not all on him. It's just politics. It's the game. It's exhausting that everyone is playing right now.
Yeah, for sure. But we're just tired of it.
When you take a look at what else he has done and upgraded, you're right. Like he does. It's not just he's not just the stadium guy. That's the big one. But there are little things that he has done very, very well. And obviously he's a great businessman. Like he's very successful. One of the most successful people, probably.
Well, I mean, he was the Big Ten commissioner. It's not
dude,
just
he's done a lot. Like when you look at his LinkedIn, like it's crazy. Like he is loaded, dude. And so you got to give him just his flowers there. But I think the biggest thing when it comes to Kevin Warren and Bears fans is we don't want to hear the stadium talk, and we just keep hearing it.
Yeah,
and it almost seems like we've heard it for the past 2 years now, where it's like nothing is moving. And he did say,
because it's all politics, like you said. That's the problem. We are upset. Yeah. Like if this was all happening within the walls and we just never heard about it, we'd be fine. Like sure, it'd come like, oh, where's that stadium at? But we have to. It's like we're getting brought into the fight. It's like mom and dad are fighting, and they just bring us in there to witness it. And it's like, dude, no.
And I don't know how you feel, Vic. That's a good analogy. I don't know how you feel, but I don't like politics. Like I just not a fan of it, like at all. I won't even talk about it. But that's I think, and a lot of people go to sports because to get away from like the world, the news. And it's like, oh, well, now it's kind of being brought in, not in a way like that's volatile. Like, I'm not saying it's like, presidential debates, all those things, but it's still there's a little bit of politics that's involved here.
That's not what we're here for.
And I don't like hearing about it. I know a lot of people don't either. So, but shout out to him. It's a difficult task. Like I wouldn't want to do it. Like it's got to be a pain.
How many people you have to get to approve, and the type of money you're dealing with, like.
And the leverage he's doing, like you're gonna have to play ball. Like the Indiana thing, I think is a real it's a leverage. Possibly, I guess it could happen. Arlington Heights is the real
for sure.
They would. I think that's an option, like a legit. They could go that route, but now you're pulling these, Indiana into it. You got Arlington Heights. You're still playing ball with Chicago, I guess. So it's just a little bit, it's a little bit crazy. But shout out to George McCaskey. I just wanted to share that clip because I saw it yesterday, and shout out to Jared Payton and those guys. Really cool. I like hearing George, man.
Yeah, no, I like it too. I think, because we talked about who was the ex guy that we had that no one really enjoyed. You know what I'm talking about? He wasn't the president. He was the accountant, but we always Ted Phillips. Yeah. So it's like the difference. Once Ted Phillips left, and I'm not putting this all on Ted Phillips. I'm just talking about like their perspective, the fan, I guess narrative around the leadership of the Bears changed. As soon as Kevin Warren came in, literally only Kevin Warren's negative is like the stadium's not built yet, but every other aspect of this organization has been on the up and up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's good. I mean, it doesn't affect us as much, but it does. If you look at a lot of the really good teams, sometimes their owners freaking suck, but guess what? They have good facilities. Their GMs are good. Their coach is good. Like the Hunts for Kansas City, people hate them. Actually, their report card was awful, but guess what? They got a good GM and Les Snead. No, Les Snead's LA. Yeah. They got a good GM in Kansas City. They've got Andy Reid and you've got Patrick Mahomes. That's really all you need. And so you're hoping the Bears did the same thing.
And winning.
Like hopefully Kevin, because that's what it leads to.
We always say it, Vic. Yep.
Just winning cures all. So that's good to see. I am happy. I want George to see success. If I owned the team for that long, like you don't want it to be bad over and over. And I'm sure he cares and he's trying. So It's good. It's good. It's good for everyone. Keep winning. We got the right guys in the building. I trust Ryan Poles. I trust Ben Johnson. I trust Caleb, and I trust Kevin to get this thing going. So it's a good place to be in. We'll take it day by day because things can switch so quickly in the NFL. But right now, I feel good about the trajectory of this organization.
Me too. And before we'll take another break here, I do want to, excuse me, I want to give a shout out to Jerry Uzma. Is that correct? How you say it?
Yeah, Jerry Uzma.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sports Mockery. Obviously, you guys know the show is presented by sportsmockery.com. Both Vic and I covered the Bears, right for them. I appreciate their support. They have a really fun show, Untold Chicago Stories. It's a YouTube channel. It's going to be on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen or watch podcasts. Vic, I'm going to share my screen here, but no problem. Kind of showcase this. But today at 10:30, so about an hour after we finish up our live show, the premiere, first ever episode with Jerry Uzma is going to go live. It's basically where they tell untold stories in regards to Chicago Bears athletes, really Chicago athletes. So I believe they're going to have basketball, maybe Joakim Noah, a bunch of guys are going on. So check it out. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you guys can see kind of what I'm referring to. But here it is. Go ahead and check it out. First show drops at 10:30 Central Time. I've already seen, obviously a clip of it that's been circulating. Really, really good stuff. Authentic. Check it out. Sportsmockery.com, of course. Untold Chicago Stories on YouTube. Vic, anything else you want to add here?
No, it should be good. It's always interesting to hear, stories about some of the guys you grew up watching. You know? So always fun.
Exactly. Always fun. I know the teams worked really hard, so go ahead and support it. Check it out. And yeah, of course, and also subscribe. Bears Film Room. We appreciate it. Almost to 14,000 subscribers. We're looking back. Vic and I were kind of recapping the year. An insane amount of love you guys showed. I think we went up almost 6,000-7,000 subscribers in one season. And I know, and I say it, there's a lot of Bears content you can get. So if you come over here, whether it's for 5-10 minutes, or you watch every show every minute, the love, we appreciate the support. So before we take our next break, hit that like button, subscribe, comment, really helps the algorithm. Easy way, free way to support the show. But let's take our second to final ad break here.
Final. All right, we're going to get back to the episode real quick, but I had to take a moment to pause and tell you about something awesome that we have cooking up over here at the BFR Podcast, and that is our Patreon membership. You can join our Patreon, the BFR Den, where we have a bunch of great exclusive stuff that happens monthly, like monthly giveaways, private Zoom calls, mailbag episodes, and much, much more to come. I mean, we've got tons of features in there. We've got 2 tiers. We have our top tier, which is $10 a month, our Hall of Fame tier. What comes with that, which is very exclusive, is our private Zoom calls with our members. So every month, you're going to get a private Zoom call with me, Dave, and Jack, and we just get to talk about whatever, shoot the shit, football, life. It's a wonderful time. And then if you want to go to the lower level, we have our Rookie Grizzly tier, which is $3 a month. And what that includes is like the private Discords, the monthly giveaways, the free merch, all the events if we have coming up, things like that, access to exclusive merch that's only for our Patreon members, and any other cool features. You'll get that at the $3 level tier. And then with the $10 level tier, you will get the private Zoom call as well. Now, you can join for free. We do post our monthly calendars in there, so you can kind of see what we have going on each month. And we post our episodes there as well. So if you want to join that ongoing community, which we keep building up, please do so at the BFR Den on Patreon. Also, as well, we give a shout out to all of our Patreon members every single episode that we do. So if you join, we'll make sure to show you some love on every episode as well. So again, you can join the BFR Den on Patreon at the BFR Den on Patreon. And we just love the support. You guys are great. Shout out to all our Patreon members, and let's get back to the show. Absolutely. Shout out to our Patreon members. We just had our monthly call. Was that last weekend? That was a good one with our Hall of Fame Grizzly members. And we gave, we did our giveaways this past weekend as well. So shout out to, I think, Dave. Dave has a new hat coming in, or a new shirt. And then we also gave away a sweatshirt too as well, one of our hoodies. So congrats to the winners on that. If you want to join in on the fun and don't miss out, link is in the description. You can look up the BFR Den on Patreon and join in there. So appreciate all the love and support. And you'll get a shout out like we always do on every single one of our episodes. So shout out to our Patreon members.
Absolutely. Cool. Yep. The Patreon call was last week, and it's just gotten better. So appreciate the support. Like I said, you guys have been amazing. Fick, a couple other things. There's a couple things I want to get to. I don't know if I could show this video. Have you seen the Colston Loveland DeAndre Swift commercial?
Oh, yeah, but we can play it. Yeah, let's show it.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's play it. Guys, there's this commercial that came out. I was actually on IG. I was like, what is this? Colston, he shared it, and I was like, I guess I got to check it out. And it was actually way funnier than I thought it was actually going to be. And I guess I had lower expectations, but it's from a Lifeway Foods commercial. I'm going to go ahead and share it here. Let y'all watch it with us. And you can check it out. I posted on my Twitter. I think it's on their Colston and DeAndre Swift's IG as well. So here we go.
Hey, you want a Lifeway? Yeah, can I take a look at here real quick?
When you're a professional at the top of your game, you focus on what really matters, like Lifeway Keepers Protein and Probiotics to support your best performance.
You hear that too, right? That's my new AI fridge with narration mode.
What? Visit LifewayFoods.com to score some Lifeway Keeper and Farmer cheese for your fridge. You're the best tight end of all time. I love you, Colston.
Yeah, that's just something it says.
You know I'm telling the whole team about this, right?
Hey, you want a Lifeway?
Yeah, can I take a look at him?
No, that's actually funny. The funniest part of that is DeAndre Swift going, what?
Yeah.
That was good.
Honestly, relatively good acting.
Acting,
like,
yeah.
I was impressed.
Yeah, because normally it's hit or miss, you know what I mean, with these athletes. But I thought they did a pretty good job. So shout out to them both.
Yeah, and the chemistry between the two.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Anyways, that's when you know it's the off season, when you have
refrigerator commercials.
But that's when these athletes do it, man. That's when they Colston's had some Colston Loveland has had some really cool partnerships. He had one with like this interior decorating company where I guess they decorated his house, which honestly, if you're an athlete, dude, is there not two better team ups than one interior decorator company where it's like, yeah, just do my house and we can use that as like a, commercial or advertisement, and then you get all this new stuff, furniture.
Yeah, why not?
You got it furnished. Like that's a huge partnership. Probably got a bag for that. And then you get your fridge or not fridge. I guess it's a Lifeway. So it's like a meal company. It's just two great things. Yeah, he's probably set up for life.
Oh, look, that's what happens when that's why, honestly, if the Bears are good, it draws players to the organization.
Free agency, yeah.
Not only because of the team, right? They want to win, but don't ever think that these athletes don't understand the opportunity of the side stuff, making money on the side. One of the biggest reasons LeBron was like, yeah, take me to LA, because he already had tons of business opportunities out there and it's set up. And the same way in Chicago. Yeah, I mean, people go to New York for that reason as well, too, in any sport. These are big markets. So good for Colston, and hopefully this attracts some people. Like now that the Bears are good, and I can't remember, a certain player was talking about, maybe been Kevin Byard, but he's talking about, hey, look, this is now an attractive place for free agency. Obviously, money talks, right? So you still need to bring the bag. You got to back up the Brinks truck a little bit, but the teams are not going to be like, oh no, that Chicago's off my list. Chicago now is within people's favorite. It may not be the number one spot, but they at least have to consider it due to the team showing that they're good, showing that they have a good quarterback, they have a good head coach, and then obviously the market. So I think it plays a part.
It does. There's so many factors, and the Bears have a lot going for them. I want to end the show on really two things. Obviously the Bears coaching staff has kind of been poached, but there was a hire that we didn't talk about last show. Also, I believe I said, is it Declan?
There you go. You got it. No, you got it.
First try.
That's right.
Shame on you, Ficky, for not even telling me.
No, I was letting you roll with it. I was like,
last show, I guess I said his name, and he's not a part of the Bears anymore, so I guess I don't have to worry about it. But said his name wrong quite a bit. So, and the comments and my direct messages let me know it. So, anyways, Ben Johnson, he landed his Eric Bieniemy replacement. Bears are hiring Eric Stewsville. I believe that's how
I actually don't know the last name. Yeah.
Let me know in the comments if that's correct. As running back coach, he spent 2 years together. He spent 2 years together in Miami with Ben Johnson. He coached 12 different running backs who had over 1,000-yard seasons, 4 Pro Bowlers, including Marshawn Lynch. I just love it. I just want to touch on it because I think it's just a great hire. Like this, and that you talked about attracting. I think it's a really good segue. Attracting talent, right? Attracting players, free agents, whatever it might be, because, obviously Chicago is one of the best cities in the world. It's one of the best franchises when everything's going well, of course. But on top of all this, having Caleb and Ben, you're seeing Ben already at like attracting top talent, like elite coaching. People are going to want to come here, especially OCs, like, because I think Ben and Caleb are going to make their OCs a lot of money at the end.
Well,
of the day.
that's a good segue here, because we had a question here from Rod Krog on KR3OG. When they're going to hire the OC? And this one's a little bit interesting because the OC is not a typical OC, but I feel confident that they'll get Ben Johnson will get the right guy in there. So
yeah,
we don't know. We'll have to wait.
It's
not
Taylor's up there.
OC. Yep.
I would say Antoine Randall L.
It's possible.
I know we talked about it. Those are the two, for my opinion. Because Antoine Randall L is already the assistant coach. He's the wide receiver coach, right, Fick? So
yes,
transition. I don't see him taking it, but it's possible. And then Press Taylor possible as well. I just don't. I think Ben can really do whatever he wants because he's calling the plays. It's like, who does he want to, try to make money for?
Yeah, the OC is going to be doing the nitty gritty work, so it's not your standard OC. So that's why it's not as attractive.
They also requested permission to interview Connor Senger from Arizona. He's currently the passing game specialist for the Cardinals and has been on staff since 2022. Unique thing here, he's 30 years old, and he's considered a rising offensive mind. So he's an interesting possibility, like outside of like the internal applicants. But I think if I had to like bet on it right now, I would say it's an internal promotion that they're going to go ahead and fill and then backfill that other role.
More so we'll see what happens though. You never know. So, but it's an important role, but let's be real. Offensive coordinator is Ben Johnson. So it's fine. I'm not too concerned about it. We'll wait and see what happens. A lot of time left, but that's really the only position we have to fill. Everything else is set in stone. So that's good to go.
Absolutely. Fick, let's go ahead and finish up. Let's get our shout outs here. If we have any, I know it's been a really, really good show. Good morning. Let's get to those.
Yeah, let's so we got this one. Let's do this real quick. We can answer it. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? I'm going Seattle.
Oh, yeah. I do not want to see Drake May. It's the same thing so MVP, right? Matthew Stafford, he won it. I did not want Drake May to win it selfishly because as far as arguments go, I can't have Drake May winning a Super Bowl and the MVP in his second year. Good Lord. Like, as far as like who's the best quarterback in the draft class, it's going to be hard to argue, even if I do believe Caleb is more talented. But I think they're both really, really freaking good, and they're just different players. But I cannot have Drake May winning a Super Bowl. I just can't. I cannot have it for my own agenda.
Yeah.
And also, I like Sam Darnold. That's a cool story, man.
Cool story. Seattle's the better team. Seattle is actually the better team, though. So I'm hoping they play like the better team and win. So, but we'll see what happens. You never know.
Like, I also don't want to see like a blowout either, Fake. Like, I don't know how you feel. Like, I don't want to see like 30 to like 3, right? I want to see a good game.
You don't want to see you want to see a good game.
I want to see
at least in the fourth quarter, feel like both teams have a chance. It doesn't have to come down to the wire, but give me 3 quarters where I'm like, okay, we still got a game. All right, let's get to go Hawks. That's absolutely right. Let's go to our shouts here. Right, Eater Scott and YouTube with the OG. We got our Hall of Fame Grizzly member Gage with the hashtag OG. Dave Big Hat Gang with the hashtag OG. Look forward to us building through the draft. Defensive tackles priority number 1. I swear he switches his name every time. I think that's so funny. But I agree. Defensive tackle should be a good one. Appreciate that. Big Hat Gang. And then let's see if we have anything else. Do not. So let's go ahead and go through our Patreon shouts like we always do. So starting off with our Hall of Fame Grizzly members, we got Michael across the pond, Gage, who gave the OG. We got Phil, Michael, Barry. We got Angie Wright, Ryan Reeves, Daniel from across the pond. We got Thomas, Tito, Dave, Jerome, and Chris. Shout out to all the Hall of Fame Grizzly members. You guys are fantastic. We got to give love to our rookie Grizzlies as well. We have Alex, Chris, Ethan, Lee, Caleb, Jason, and Megan. And I think Lee's the one who won the sweatshirt. So shout out to you.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dave as well. I know your guys' merch is coming in as we speak. So we got to give love to our Patreon members as always. If you want to be awesome like them, get a shout out, go ahead and join the Patreon. Link in the description. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, Fick. I kind of wanted to end the show real quick. We're gonna get out of here. I know Fick's got some family, I think birthday party or something coming up here soon. So want to get you out of here. But we do have, if you saw, follow us on our socials or BFR account. We did post a job opening for our producer. So in all likelihood, we could be having a new producer. Nothing with Jack. Jack May could be back. It's really about schedules and everything like that. So just to keep it transparent, we open that up. So when that is all said and done, whether it's whoever it is, we will obviously announce it. We'll bring him onto the show. Super, super excited about really however it goes. But just, I know a lot of people follow the pod. I've had some questions about what's going on. Again, nothing, no animosity, nothing. No. It's really just scheduled. So what that means is we could have a new producer. We could have Jack. When we know and when we make a decision, we will, of course, let all of you guys know because, of course,
we've got
we
a lot of
transparent.
Yeah, we had a lot of applications, so it's taking a little bit.
And that's another thing.
Keep you updated. Yeah.
And shout out to you guys. I know we've had people that a lot of the applications, you guys watch the show and you guys obviously mentioned that during the application process. So it's really cool to see so many people want to be a part of it. And to be, and obviously the Bears fandom, it's unbelievable. I know every fan base is like, we got the best fans, but we all truly care about this team. And so the support on that application and the amount that you guys sent in and some of them are really funny.
Yeah.
Really, really, really good. But I just wanted to, like I said, I've gotten a couple of messages. I wanted to address that. So you guys are not in the dark here. But Vic, anything on that? Anything else before we kind of head out of here?
No, it's a perfect one to end on. We really do appreciate all the support. Like always, we'll keep saying it ad nauseum, but we really, truly do mean it. So appreciate every single one of you.
Absolutely. And follow us on Twitter, socials. You can see our stuff on the screen or on our description. And then, of course, check out the pod on Apple and Spotify. Like and subscribe, tell a Bears fan. And then check out our writing on sportsmockery.com. Shout out to them who helped sponsor the show. Really, really excited about their new show. Like I said, Untold Stories premieres in about under an hour. So check it out on YouTube if you need some more Bears content in your life, like I know I do. And we'll see you next week. Bear down.
Peace.